Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James and the Brink, and we are one. So tonight I want to talk about some gaming news that I find pretty interesting, and I have three articles, and one of them's Duke Nukem, some source code leaked, and then we also have GPUs that might be dropping in price. That's a good sign, but there might be reasons to it that you might want to wait to not get them yet. So also, Left 4 Dead without zombies. Would it be good? Maybe. No, I don't think so. Okay, let's get into it. But before we do that, make sure to like, subscribe, and bash that bell with your crowbar. Now, so first up is the infamous early build of Duke Nukem Forever leaks. Looks real, creator says. This is from Polygon, but about every news agency's covered it now. I think it's pretty interesting, actually, that we have a lot of builds that are just hidden away. I mean, there's Half-Life builds from Half-Life 3 that they've worked on, you know, like Half-Life Alyx was a conglomerate of a bunch of different versions of Half-Life 3 in some way, or influenced, I should say, also. This is another one where I believe Duke Nukem Forever, the early portion was, I'm sure, influenced a little bit of what we ended up getting, the garbage heap, but I mean, it's just interesting how this source code came to light. I watched some of the video. I'll link this source in the description below, so don't fret if you need to go find it, but it's everywhere. It's just really interesting, and it's been confirmed, at least partially confirmed, by George Broussard, who was one of the founders / creators of Duke Nukem and the studio behind that. And he just essentially says, well, he does say, yes, the leak looks real. No, I'm not really interested in talking about it or retreading a painful past. You should heavily temper your expectations. There's no real gameplay to play, just smattering of barely populated test levels. I have no knowledge who leaked this. That pretty much, I mean, to me, that confirms it pretty hard that this is true footage, and it is a little bit more adult. So I don't want to go to, we're not going to watch it, but you can watch it yourself. It is pretty interesting, the direction it went here. It definitely was of the era, the era of 2001, potentially maybe even a little behind. Some of it felt maybe a little bit more James Bondy with its weapons, in my opinion, from looking at this, watching that I could see why it was scrapped. It didn't seem good, in my opinion, even for back then. And I'm comparing this to like Half-Life, which was 98. So really very fascinating. It sounds like there's going to be code or source code that's going to get leaked. It was originally built in the original Unreal Engine. And it looks like 4chan, someone on 4chan is going to be leaking the source code along with it. I might get my hands on it and look at it, because this type of stuff's fascinating. But let's move on to the next portion of this news video. This is fun, but what's even more fun is getting lower GPU prices, finally getting to MSRP prices that we've been waiting for so long. I like crypto in some ways, but I also don't like what it did to the market and what scalpers have been able to do to screw over gamers. And really, to be honest, I feel like companies really didn't do much. Nvidia is lied, and they've even been fined now, involved in all this stuff. Nvidia is really looking like not a great guy in all of this. But it's hard because their GPUs are some of the best. AMD has some great ones, but Nvidia is still, from the benchmarks I've seen, still the best. That being said, price wise, like AMD's 6900 XT, their flagship card, right here, it's about $1,250. Is being dropped down to $1,000 on Newegg, and even has a $50 rebate to $950. That being said, AMD is coming out with a new line, or like an upgrade to the line, with a 6950 XT later this year. So they could be just preparing for new cards by dropping the price. Also, they want to compete with Nvidia. It sounds like from this article that Nvidia is taking the top spot, like on Newegg, of the top 20, I guess, spots of graphics card, right here. And that they could be dropping to be more competitive. AMD's done that before in the past and has actually kicked ass before. And to be honest, if they can drop that price down quite a bit and make it look super attractive, I think people would want to go with AMD anyways right now, because Nvidia's kind of screwed us over in some ways with their just playing too much into the crypto hands. And it's just, that kind of stuff sucks. It sucks that we're in the middle of that kind of war, but you know what? This is still a good sign. Now, the last piece of thing I want to say on this is, should you wait to buy the new series or should you buy now? It really depends on what you need. If you want to build a computer right now that's going to be slightly dated in about 6 months to a year, because to be honest, you're not going to get a card most likely at launch. You're going to get it about 6 months afterwards, typically, as long as there's no shortages. That's another thing, shortages. It's just, I'm in the mentality right now of, if you can get the card for a decent price, get it, and then you can always sell it later and then upgrade if you want. It's just really up to you and what money you have, what you're willing to spend, all that. If you really want to build a computer now, I really wouldn't wait. You can go the route I'm going with another computer, just going the APU route and then buying later down the road, and at least having something that's functional if you don't have a PC. If you have a PC, then you just might want to wait. If you have a strong enough PC, like a CPU RAM combo that's like 16 gigs, and within the past few generations, like let's say Intel or AMD, you might be able to get away with upgrading to the 6900s XT and just calling it there, and then wait for a whole new refresh in about 2 years. So that being said, let's go on to the last piece of news, which is the most fun piece of news, I guess, which is Valve boss Gabe Newell didn't want zombies in Left 4 Dead. Let's get it and see. Which is, he essentially said they're cheesy, and I think he's taking it from the movies he's watched, the premise. And Chet Falsek, he had an interview where he essentially talked about this and what Gabe said and all that. They talked about zombie films like Night of the Living Dead is about racism, Dawn of the Dead is about consumerism, and then Left 4 Dead was all about working together in co-op. And I think that was their ultimate goal. But they ended up deciding on zombies, which was a great choice. This is right at the rise of like the zombie craze with games. It's so many clones have come from Left 4 Dead. This game, it's weird that it was on the tipping point of being potentially one of the canceled titles of Valve, because if they didn't go with zombies, I don't think it would have succeeded like it did. And so it's weird that we could have had just a huge flop, never had Left 4 Dead. I've played hundreds of hours of Left 4 Dead, and I would be devastated if, you know, somehow I found out that we would have had zombies and it would have been good, but we didn't get that. So I'm glad we ended up getting that, and I'm super happy that Gabe Newell does let their, you know, other people make decisions too, and he's just, you know, that's a good sign, I think. That's really it for that. We almost had non-zombie Left 4 Dead. We do have GPUs coming out that are at a decent price, finally. And then also Duke Nukem. Hey, it's coming back. It does live forever. Hey, so with all that being said, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I love hearing your opinions, and I will catch you guys later. Check out my other videos. Peace out. Later.